Okay, so I was thinking about this last week, that we haven't really ever sat down and sort of put a structured plan into the exact thing that we need to do with an IC when we sign them up. And now we've got the checklist, and we've had the checklist, and there's a lot of information on there. But I don't think it's necessarily being used to its full potential. So what I wanted to do was streamline it a bit and give everybody the guidelines of what they need to do in the first week of setting up a new consultant. And it's really important, I think, to get them to understand that what you're trying to do is give them quite an intense month of training and development to get them to a point where they're actually going to be independent. I mean, you're always going to be their sponsor, you're always going to be there to help them, but by having quite a intense initial period where they're training and you're doing one-to-ones and you're doing launches, is really the best way for them to learn how to continue doing this on their own with the same system that you're showing. So what I wanted to do is use this opportunity to show you the system that I'm using, and the modified checklist that I've done today, and actually then afterwards to get your feedback and say, well, actually I think it will work better if we do this. And then between us as leaders, we make a decision what we want to use moving forward, and then we get that implemented so that we're getting the exact duplication within our businesses that we really want to see. Now, actually, I think we really as with always everything, it's very easy to overcomplicate things in this business, but we don't need to at all. If we can just keep to the basics. Arbonne now obviously get out a really lovely welcome guide. I'll go through the documents in a second that are in my folder in the order that I show them. But Arbonne already send us out to our consultants a welcome as a new consultant, all the relevant information that they need in a lovely little folder. And really what we need to do is go through that information with them. Okay, so we've still got a checklist, and that's really for our own check. It's to make sure that we've covered the content that we need to cover with them. So I've got a checklist. I've uploaded it onto the Facebook page today, so you'll be able to go and have a little look at that and just print it off. There's quite a few. I know I've put loads on there, but this is all for this folder that we've put together now. So if you print those off, because you're going to need them. But that's got then all the information that we need to give somebody, or actually just point them in the right direction so they know what they've got to put together to have exactly the same folders as what we're having. So I've simplified it into 5 steps, and those 5 steps need to be done within the first week of actually getting them set up, or the first couple of weeks. I mean, obviously it depends on, your consultant might want to go really slow, so then it might be a month. But it's to give you a bit of structure of what to cover with them each time that you're going to be seeing them. So the first step, I wouldn't go, this is obviously the point where they've decided that they want to become a consultant. So the first step, I wouldn't go too crazy when you're initially setting them up as a consultant. The key things to obviously get across at that point is, if they put in an order of 150 PQV, then they're entitled to claim a free gift, which is up to £90, and tell them why that is, or why that's available to them. And actually make them aware that in that first 7-day period, they can only spend £200. So sit with them, work their order out for them, make sure that they maximise on getting the free gifts as well. And at this time, I would definitely discuss the benefits of becoming a consultant, but not in too much depth. I mean, this is already done for us. I'll just show you the page that I'm talking about. Can you guys see this? Let me just make sure. Yeah? Okay, so super simple. I've laminated everything because I tend to use it ever such a lot and they get grubby. So I laminate all of my sheets here. So on that initial visit, we're going to set them up as a consultant. We're going to make sure they've got the 150 to get the free gift. We're going to make sure their order doesn't go over 200. And then we're going to go through the benefits here that they have as a consultant. Okay, really simple, really straightforward. as soon as that order is gone through, you're then going to, and I wouldn't go too in depth at this stage, but you're going to give them a brief overview of the Arbonne website. So you're going to get them to log on to their own website. You're going to get them to add a photo while you're there, and also get them to add their banking details to make them aware that they are going to get paid their commissions directly into their bank. It just gets them used to that idea straight away. So on that initial setup where their website has suddenly been created for them, we personalise it with their photograph, and we make sure that they've got the facility to be paid in there as well. We do a brief overview. So at this stage, I would really only look at, the shopping aspect of it so that they can start having a little look at all the product ranges. When you get
to a question.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, darling. Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
When we set an ICR,
yeah,
is their website up and running immediately?
Yeah, pretty much.
It is literally while they're still sitting there.
Yeah, pretty
we'll
much.
Be able to get back into it.
Through. There might be a very short delay, but in that moment, that's when I talk about like the benefits and talking about QV and PQV.
Right.
But
it's not like the next day. It is kind of immediate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could just put your £56 thing through, and then immediately log on to the account, and then put your order through if you wanted to. We used to do it that way because actually you used to be able to get away with putting £200 worth of product through, but now they've capped it that it's £200 in total. But you can literally just log up, put your order in, and then log off, and then immediately log back in again. And that's great because then they can see obviously what their website address is, and they can get a brief summary of the dashboard. But again, at this stage, I wouldn't overload them with information because they've already got, the head's going to be buzzing enough. But I do want them to be really clear of two things. I want them to have a rough idea of the management levels, just so they understand how it works. I don't want to go into detail with it. There's a really good little example that's in the leaflet that turns up to them about the Arbonne opportunity, which just highlights the percentages at each level of management. So I really just make them aware of that, which is this leaflet. And then in here, it's got just a little guide, and it shows you the percentages that you get incrementally as you go through the business. So I do talk about that. And the other thing that's really important at stage one is to make sure that they understand PQV and QV and what that actually means. And that as a consultant, we do have, although we don't have any targets that we have to hit, we do have to hit the 12 in 12, which is obviously 1200 QV over a 12-month period, to ensure that we don't have to then pay a complete renewal fee. So if we do hit 1200 QV over a year, we then have to pay just £22 as a renewal fee, but actually we get an £11 voucher, so it only costs £11. If we don't hit 1200 in a year, then they obviously can sign up again as a consultant and pay the £56. So it's just important that they understand straight off the bat what their very minimum requirements are at that visit. And actually, that is more than enough for them. Their heads will be spinning around anyway. These products, generally speaking, as we know, 2 to 3 days, they're going to be turning up. And that is the point where I would then, when their welcome pack arrives, that is when I would sit down with them and go through that welcome pack with them. They'll have some products there that they would have ordered, in that initial order. So it'd be quite exciting for them to see those coming in. But actually, this is the time when you just want to go through in detail all that information that they've been given. And like Kerry said at the beginning of the call, I definitely wouldn't do this all in one go. You might be. We had a lady on Friday night, Nicolette's new consultant Karen, who she just got it. So I was able to actually cover all of the detail that I would have covered over 2 visits, but she just absolutely got it. Most people aren't going to get all the information in one go. So gauge it on, how much they seem to be taking in. But I've broken this down to put it in line with the steps that are in, let me just get this out for you, the new consultant guide. Okay, so this is just a 5-page, 5-point guide, and that's what I've set up as the new checklist as well, which you're just going to go through with them. So you're going to get this document out, you're going to go through this guide with them. And step 1 is literally for them to become a product of the product. So this is the perfect opportunity for us to discuss the ASVPs, the build your own options, the flash buys, and the PWPs. So that's purchase with purchase. Perfect time to talk to them about it, because then they can start to think about their business order. You know, if they want to order product now, or if they just want to get an ASVP, you can gauge what level of income that they want to put into the business straight away, and then you can tailor the best package for them there and then. They might not have any money and want to do that at all and want to just crack on with events and then order products, but this is the time when you talk to them, because they really need to understand the amazing deals that we get as with the ASVPs and the build your owns, etc. Okay, so that's the time that we're going to do that. Once you've got your order together and they know what they want, this is the time then to have a look at the overview of everything. So this is when I would go more in depth with the website for them, get them to understand the business tools, look at the dashboard, make sure they understand what the dashboard means, how they're going to track their consultants' activity, how they're going to track their preferred client orders, how they track orders, how they look at incentives. I would really spend quite a bit of time here. You're going to have to do this again, of course, because it's not all going to go in, but this is the time I'd go through that green taskbar and I'd scroll through them with each of those so they understand what is actually in each of those taskbars. So that's talking about business aids, that's talking about the boutique, the source, my office, obviously best, about the Arbonne University, about Eye on Arbonnes. This is the time when you're going to give them all the information that they need, but you're going to make them aware that they don't need to remember it straight away, because they can always talk to you about, and you'll have it all printed out for them on the checklist that they're going to be able to reference that themselves. So they've ordered their products and they've got a really in-depth overview of the website. And at this stage, I would then definitely talk to them about what preferred clients are, because they probably don't even know what they are yet, what the preferred rewards are, and what host rewards are. And what I've done in my folder, just show you so you can see, is, I don't know if you guys can see this here. So I have literally got, so the welcome pack, everything that they receive at the beginning as a section for getting started, all the little leaflets that we're going to go through when we talk about host rewards, 30 Days for Healthy Living, etc. And then I've categorized it to break it down so it's going to be much, much easier for them. So we've got consultants, benefits and ASVPs, because that's the first thing that we're going to be talking to them about. And in there, we've got the benefits. This is going to just guide you which way to do it. The new customizable, is that even a word? Customizable. I think that's a made up word. Customizable ASVPs specifically for consultants. So that's showing the 50% discount. I've also got in there then the gift that they're going to get. So this section, I'll be able to refer to the gift when I'm putting their order through. I've also got about build your own. I keep calling it the 60 per 20. It's now changed, doesn't it? It's now 65 for 25. 65 for 25. I must get that in my head. And then I've got an up-to-date price list that, again, I'll put on the page as well. This is ever changing, but it's good to have an up-to-date list. And that just breaks everything down. Consultant price, preferred client price, QV, and the actual price. So they're really it's a really handy document to have. And then you might find that that's more than enough information for them. You're going to then talk about preferred clients, how you set up a preferred client, how you set up a consultant. So stage 3 can either be done at the same time, or you can say, right, let's get together tomorrow night, or do it on Zoom, or whatever you like, where you're then going to go through the next stage. Because I think the next stage is really important. And I've put this in as consultants, bonuses and promotions. And again, so new consultants know straight away, now that we've not got the Strong Start programme, we've got to make them aware that there's really good bonuses that they can have straight away, which means they're going to be generating cash straight away if they're active straight away. So make them aware that there's cash bonuses where they can earn £60 of a cash bonus in their first month by orders that go through the account. I won't go through it now in detail, but that one breaks down into district managers, area managers, regional vice presidents. So this is all of the bonus information that has replaced the Strong Start. And just give them an indication at this level of the management, talk about the management. I wouldn't go too in depth still at this stage about how we get paid, like the different percentages and calculating the exact amount of money, but they can gauge an idea of how the business works by you talking about these things. So as a new consultant, brand new, what they can be expecting to earn as their bonuses. Okay. And then I have a completely separate section here, preferred clients, bonuses, benefits and promotions. So this is going to be great for if you've got a host or you're talking to a new customer. It's great then to have this section open. It shows them the benefits of being a preferred client compared to the benefits of being a consultant, or if they just wanted to be a host, and all of the promotions that they're going to get on there as well. That's another document that I've just uploaded. It also shows them the customizable ASVPs that are specifically available to preferred clients, and that gives them then a 40% discount. So even if it's a one-to-one or if it's in a party situation, this document I'm going to have out because I really want people to understand how amazing value that the ASVPs are. 40% off of the set. So that I would have out on display. And in here, have you seen the new preferred client free gift list? It's really amazing. You can have renewal serum, eye cream, the new RE9 eye cream. You can have the gilet. You can have the day cream. You can have cellular renewal mask. You can have any of the spa products, which so some of these products are going up to £56 retail, and you can now have those as freebies. We were limited before on just like a £35 cap, but it's fantastic now. It's really, really good. They've changed the wording on it, so new preferred clients. Obviously, it's 120 SRP that you have to spend. But it's effectively works out about 150 QV anyway. But really, really good. So it's great to have that list laminated. So when you're talking about the benefits of being a preferred client, they can see just from that £17 startup fee that they're going to get a product up to £57 if they want to as their free gift. This is a really good document to have because actually it's very confusing, the free shipping options that are available to preferred clients, and this just gives this preferred client benefits at a glance. So while you're talking to them, you can point to them and say, look, in your first order, if you spend 190 quid, you're going to get free shipping as well, plus you're going to get your free gift, etc., etc. So always have these to hand because it's much easier to have a visual reference and to show somebody when you're explaining what can sometimes come across as quite a complicated offering. PWPs are still available for preferred clients and consultants. I've just put this document together because one doesn't exist. So this is a summary, and I've put all the prices in of all of the PWPs. And again, that's on our page now. Because I think this is really powerful, the fact that you can get your 60% saving you get on these products. They're absolutely fantastic for travelling purposes. And we've obviously got the new Deluxe RE9 range in there, and the men's range, the Calm, the nutrition travel set. And these are obviously only available to preferred clients and consultants. So this is another offering that you've got for, to make your preferred clients aware of. The other thing I have in this folder is, and we used it on Friday evening when we were talking about market comparison. So really handy to have that available. So when somebody, I'm sure, will say, oh, well, I use this, or if they question the price in any way, you're then able to reference this document straight away. And I always keep that in this section as well. And then this definitely needs updating, but I've just got some really good before and after pictures that, again, when you're talking about a product, you go, oh my gosh, we've had amazing results with this. This lady used this product for however long, and this is the result she got. So again, not crazy amount, just 4 or 5 pages of before and after pictures that I show them. But just having those little sections, if you're dealing with a customer, you're going to have just these few documents to think about. If you're dealing with a consultant, you're going to do it in 2 stages. You're going to do the introduction bit with them, and then you're going to do the more in-depth so that they understand how the business works. So they've got an idea of what they're going to be doing, and then you're just going to continue with your checklist. So they know how we get paid as a consultant, how we move through the management levels, what the bonuses are going to be. So they've got enough information now to get going. So step 4 is making sure that they're aware about plugging in. And we talk about this in terms of making sure that they're coming on trainings, making sure that they're active on the Facebook groups, that they're listening to SoundCloud and YouTube trainings, that they're involved in the Arbonne online community, the YouTube and Vimeo, etc., Instagram pages, all of that. Just making sure that their social media presence is going to be, they're going to feel really connected within our little world of Arbonne, and getting them on the Facebook page and helping them create their own business page as well, so that they can start promoting their business in the right way, not by just vomiting Arbonne on their own personal page, which we want to avoid. We want it to be professional straight away. So help them to set up a Facebook page of their own where they can post their professional content. And at that point, it's step 5, and step 5 is literally getting into activity. So we're going to set the goals and write down the business plan. Again, this is a separate thing altogether. You need to start writing down their top 30, their first list of 30 people that they want to contact, and explain to them why we do this list and how we update it constantly, and how this is going to be our, the new blood that's coming into our business. We're going to show them how to invite people to one-to-ones and events. We're going to help them type out some messages or phone, people if they want to get events booked in straight away. We're going to show them how to do that. And then we're going to book in at least 3 launches within their first month. Now, obviously, you're going to get some consultants that are going to not want to do that at all. If they just want to get one event in, then that's absolutely fine. But if they can consecutively book 3 launches, week after week after week, after just joining, they're going to learn so much better. They're going to take in how to do the business so much better. So I would say, 1 a week for the next 3 weeks. And then if they're really, really keen on starting a business, get them to start thinking about their dream team list. So ask them to get together the people that they want, they would love in their dream team, and then you do a specific Discover Arbonne for them, you know. So and that could be on Zoom, or it could be at somebody's home. It doesn't matter, as long as you're getting a business launch in that first month. Oh, my little baby girl's just woken up. Hopefully she'll just go back to sleep. Sorry, Richard's not here. I think we're good. Okay, if I suddenly run off, you'll know where I've gone. Yeah, so it can be an online business launch, or it can be a physical one in their room. Okay, we've got these all on the checklist that we can go through. And that's it. They then need to just make sure that they just keep doing that. Repeat, repeat, repeat. That's all our business is. Give them a personal development book to get started. So GoPro was one of the first ones that I read, and the 45-second presentation that will change your life was another really good one. They're really quite simple. They really explain network marketing very well, and they can get their head around the industry as well as what they need to do to be successful in the business, and gets them into personal development straight away. And then the final thing you need to do on close before you get into any activity with them is explain that you are going to be there 100% for them. You know, it can be quite a daunting thing that you're asking these consultants to do straight away. But they need to know that you're going to lead the way and get them going. You know, the first event you're going to basically do. They're going to introduce and you're going to do. The second event you're going to basically do for them. By the third event, they'll be naturally wanting to join in, and they'll have things that they want to say, and they'll be loving their products. So they'll start to come in and be involved. And by the fourth event, they'll probably be doing it all themselves. But it's just knowing that you're there for support. But what we do want them to know is the whole aim is for them to be independent. Now, usually we say that's within a month, but I think that can be unrealistic for some. So based on whatever your opinion is of your consultant that's joined and how much time they need, you give that to them. But let them know you're going to guide them, that you're going to be there 100% for them, but the aim is for them to become independent. Okay, it's really important that they grasp that. So I have, and that is it, really straightforward. The checklist that I've gone through goes through those 5 steps. It covers each of those points that I have just mentioned. I'm sorry, and it's going off on the monitor, which is all right. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, if you can have a little look at that, and let me know what your thoughts are, and whether you think that structure works. Brilliant. Then we'll roll it out and we'll actually say, right, this is, I mean, it's going to be this content. It's just whether you think that the flow works okay.
Well, I've got the open up, so I've been looking at it as you've been talking about it. I think it's brilliant. I think it's exactly what we need, because I think the key thing is it's so easy to kind of go all over the place with this and start telling somebody one thing and the one thing that struck me when you're talking about it was, for so often you get someone who signs up, but they basically don't, you know, they've signed up. It's that thing about whether somebody signs up because they want the discount or whether they're signing up as a business builder and all that sort of thing. And I think in that first kind of conversation, maybe when they get the welcome pack and you start going through all those details, is then to have that conversation about what they, you know, are they, you know, 100% coachable, and this is kind of what it means, you know, and stuff like that. Because you are going to get some people who are going to kind of go, whoa, hold on a minute, you know, that's too much for me. And other people are going to lap it up. But the point is, it's quite good if you actually can ask them and have that conversation. But I think this will really, really help, because a lot of people don't know until you start going through this stuff whether they want to be involved or not. Yeah. Do they? They're not, I think, so I think it's brilliant, and it'll really help me. I like that structure to have that.
Me too. I just thought, and also we need it to be duplicatable. That isn't even a word either, but I'm going to go with it. You know, we need to be able to say to somebody, well, this is what we do, and then you're going to take that off, and then you're going to do this with your consultant, and it has to flow. You're completely right. You know, before having a structure, you'd have a conversation and you'd be like, oh yeah, and this is how you do this, and this is how you do this, and it'd be like, oh my God, you know, they go away and their like hair looks like mine from pulling their hair out, thinking, oh my God, this just sounds too complex. But the reason I didn't put days in on the checklist is because I think you date it, you know, you date it when you think it's appropriate. So they're what I think are appropriate size steps. And like the girl who we had on Friday, she lapped it up. You know, I could have literally, she was like a computer. I could have told her everything and she would have just got it all. Whereas other consultants, you know, it just doesn't go in that quickly. So you'll know that. You'll be able to judge from how they're responding to you, whether it's all going in or not. So you can just date it yourself.
Yeah, I think as well, it would be really good to actually be able to say to somebody when you first sign them up, great, you know, that's great, welcome to the team, we're really pleased, blah, 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 blah. This is what's going to happen kind of over the next, you know, week to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
These are the kind of, so that they get an idea in their heads as to kind of the steps you're going to go through. So they know what to expect. They know they're not going to be left alone, etc.
Yeah.
So I think this is really good to actually have the checklist and say, we have a set up process that we go through. And we kind of, you know, here's some of the things we'll be talking about over the next week or so.
Yeah.
We'd like to do it at the right pace for you, but we need to do it, you know, at a reasonable pace. Yeah. And then you can have that conversation with them about, you know, what the dates are and when they're ready to do it. And actually, I'd say even plug the dates into a diary at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've put that on. I probably just didn't say it, but get your diary together and like put in your diary dates, your Discover Arbonnes, your regional training, so people know